Hey, fellow D-Padders, you are listening to Two Dudes and a NES. I'm Paul.
And I'm Andy.
And we are Power Trip Gaming. And we have invaded this episode of Two Dudes and a NES, the game-by-game NES podcast. They're covering each game one by one. And that's it.
Yes. Power Trip Gaming is essentially a game-by-game playthrough of the entire NES library. So we are tackling all 678 NES cartridges.
It took us 12 years to get the entire collection, and we are now playing them one by one to complete each and every one of them.
In addition to that, we have also started dabbling into podcasting, which you can find us, the podcasting, as well as all of the other videos on powertripgaming.tv. It'll take you directly to the channel,
where you can watch all of our other playthroughs and all of our other miscellaneous content as well as our new podcast.
Yes. But stay tuned, because that podcast will be on iTunes and any other iPod.
Any other podcast...
Yes! Podcasting platform.
That was the word.
Michael, leave it in. I love it.
Are you ready to take your NES gaming to the extreme? This is Francisco Ruiz from the Retro Rewind podcast, and you're not hearing double. This is Two Dudes and a NES.
Hey, Justin.
What's up, man?
Yeah, something funny over there?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about taking my shirt off. I don't know what made me think of that.
Justin, you're terrible. You are a terrible person.
Could it be our half-naked guest?
Could be.
Half of the guests.
Quarter-naked guest, then, right? Half the guests are half-naked?
Oh, God. Oh, it's going to get worse.
Oh, boy.
That's right. We've got the Power Trip Gaming guys on tonight, and Andy is shirtless, but nobody knows except for Paul.
Andy is shirtless and has a shirt on. Yeah.
Join the club.
No. Maybe by the end.
Hey, Michael, have you seen the Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode yet, where they go to the dinner party and Terry's like trying to make sure everybody doesn't act like idiots while they're there?
I have not seen that one.
Oh, it's a great episode. And what made me think of that is Hitchcock. You know, there's Hitchcock and Scully, which are like the two idiots on the force.
Yeah.
Well, when they first got to the party, somebody spilled something on their shirt. I don't remember who it was, but Hitchcock was like, "Oh, do you want to take mine? I was going to take it off anyway."
That is a good episode. I love it.
Oh man, I love this show. It's so funny.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I just recently got into it.
I've actually been referred to it by a couple people, so I really need to start getting into it.
Mike and I just started watching it. Yeah. I'm in season 2. You're not very far, are you, Michael?
I'm only like episode 4, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very far at all. But speaking of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you know what's just like Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Metal Storm for the NES.
Sure is. So futuristic.
Which is the game we're talking about tonight.
Hey,
which one of you all wanted this game? Was it? It was Andy, right? Because Paul, the only thing he requests is Legacy of the Wizard.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a good game, so that means that it was definitely requested by Andy.
my tastes.
Think what you want. It's no Legacy of the Wizard.
Thank God. Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, I guess we can just crack into it, unless you guys want to talk about something else. A little chit chat first.
No, my mind is completely blank. Something something with Andy taking his shirt off. It just completely erased everything that was in my mind. So.
Okay. Well,
Hey, I did see something interesting. I did see something interesting on my drive home today.
Okay.
As I was driving home, I noticed in the turn lane there was a car that was stopped. And it wasn't turning, even though there wasn't any oncoming traffic. And then when I got up to it, I see that there's a goose standing in front of the car. And I live in a fairly heavily, populated area. And this goose is just standing in the middle of the turn lane, and the car is like honking his horn, and the goose is just like looking at the car. He's like, go around. You can go around.
Typical goose.
I'm standing there.
That makes me think of Hot Fuzz, like a scene right out of Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
it's a swan.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Nope, you can go around.
But they just have, there's no remorse is not the word. No, there's swans.
No respect.
Yeah, they're disrespectful, uncouth a bit. I just expect you to give them the world, give me bread, and I'll just crap all over your park. It's just not, it's not right.
Nothing but a bunch of prima donnas. Jeez.
That's right. You know who else is a prima donna?
Justin,
when he talks about his history.
Justin's historical tidbits. Tidbits. And trivia.
Hey, so there's no sound effects for this game that I could find to download. So I'm trying to make one out of the stage clear sound.
There really isn't too many sound effects. I mean, outside of like your character blowing up, enemies blowing up.
All the enemies die the same. They go.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, anyways, I had trouble finding the sound effects to go along with the segment intros, so that's why I just screwed that one up. Everybody enjoy that. Anyways, Justin, do you have any history for this game? Justin, are you still here? Okay, Paul and Andy, you got some history for this game?
We actually, I do have trivia. So the game,
nice.
Yeah. So the Metal Storm was released in the United States in 1981. It was actually developed by a company called Tamtex, which was at the time a subsidiary of IREM, who was the company who actually published the game. And the funny thing is, Tamtex was not. They did not publish another game that came out in the United States. Metal Storm was literally the only game that was ever released in the United States that they had developed.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So IREM must be the publisher, right?
They are, yes.
Okay, because I do know I just got through playing Cubicle not too long ago, and that was an IREM published game.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually did quite a bit of games in the like the late 80s, more of like 87, 88. So they also did Kickle Cubicle, as you said, Image Fight, Deadly Towers, Kid Nicky, and actually Kung Fu.
No, you didn't say it right. Kung Fu.
Kung Fu.
That's what I wrote.
Why did you? Fu. Okay.
Fu with 9 U's.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So IREM, I mean, they've got a pretty good track record. But I think that being as small as they were at the time, and even if they had a great game, which Metal Storm was an absolutely great game, but they just did not have the backing to get it out there, I guess. Ooh. There we go.
Yeah, that makes sense. Justin, are you back?
I think I'm back. I think I had some poor internet problems, and everybody sounded like a robot, and then I lost signal completely, and then
dang Kentucky internet.
It was probably the goose.
It may have been the goose.
Sabotage.
Yeah, he followed me home. Well, anyway, you guys sounds like you covered quite a bit of the history, so I'm just going to pull up a trivia game.
Yes. Hey.
All right, so you guys remember how this works. Each question will be multiple choice. There'll be 4 choices to each question. If you think you know the answer, you don't have to wait. You can just say your name. That's how you buzz in. And you can answer the question. Now, these questions are about Metal Storm. Okay? All right. Here we go.
Hey, wait, hold on just a
second. I'm just clarifying. It's about Metal Storm. Okay.
You got quite the pause there in between Metal and Storm.
Okay. Question number 1.
Hold on just a second. Wait, I got to know real quick. Is it me versus Andy and Paul, or is it every man for themselves?
I think we usually do every man for himself, all right?
Andy's getting the confidence boost here that I think it's actually every man for himself.
Okay. I put my shirt back on.
And
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I really need to just kind of tromp on Andy there.
You're gonna try, Andy.
Well, I do know a lot about Metal Storm. So.
Right. Okay. Well, the first question is about Metal Storm. It says, so Irem is the publisher for this game.
Paul.
You don't even know what the question is. Okay, Paul, what is the answer?
So the publisher is Irem, but it was developed by Tamtex.
Nope.
Dang it!
All right. Here's the rest of the question for Andy and Mike. Irem is known for planned events around what holiday? Is it A, Christmas, B, New Year's, C, April Fool's, or D, Easter?
Wow, I have no idea.
Andy?
I'm going to say April Fool's for some reason.
It is April Fool's, not unlike Two Dudes. Irem is known for staging elaborate April Fool's jokes. They have since 2000. They've created websites that are usually dedicated to promoting something that tends to poke fun at themselves and their games.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really.
Yep. So Andy gets 1 point. All right.
Yeah.
The next question. The word metal comes from the Greek word metallon, which means what? A, to mine, B, to conduct, C, to shine, or D, to mold? Mike.
To conduct.
It is not conduct.
That was a wild guess.
Andy or Paul? Andy or Paul?
Andy!
I think Andy got it.
Yeah, he did.
I'm going to say to mine.
It is to mine. Look at Andy. All right. Number 3. Brass is made from combining copper with what other metal? Is it A, aluminum, B, zinc,
Mike.
C, Mike?
It's aluminum.
It is not aluminum.
Are you sure?
Unless my factor.
What about
read the rest.
aluminium?
I'll read the rest of the answers. B, zinc, C, platinum, D, titanium.
Paul?
Oh
my God!
No, go on and take it so I can get the right answer here.
Yeah, Josh. We'll just say zinc.
It is zinc.
No! Lucky guess for the win.
I was going for a shutout and it didn't happen.
All right. So we got Andy with 2, Paul with 1, Mike with zip. All right. What band? All right, here we go. What band was Kirk Hammett in prior to joining Metallica? Is it A, Genesis, B, Exodus, C, Leviticus, or D, Numbers?
Paul. I'm going to take a stab here and say Exodus.
It is Exodus.
That was actually my guess, too.
Yeah.
That'll be my answer as well.
All right.
I almost feel like I kind of want to share that point then with Michael. Because,
No, you don't have to. Don't give me a gimme. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as we took it away from Andy, I'm happy.
Yeah,
come
all
on.
that matters. In the
Yeah.
end, it's going to be me and Paul versus Andy anyways. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. So
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. And number 5. What was the longest occurring hurricane? Was it longest occurring tropical storm? I didn't mean to say hurricane. A, Tropical Storm Kyle. B, Tropical Storm John. C, Tropical Storm Mark. Or D, Tropical Storm Zach.
Andy!
I think Paul's got it, actually.
okay.
I'm going to go and say C.
C is incorrect.
No, I said
Tropical
C.
Storm-
C is a cat.
That's what he said.
Oh, I thought you said D. Okay. I'm sorry.
That's Mike.
I just
No.
can't handle it.
Mike?
Okay, I'm going to say this not because I know that's the correct answer, but because I want to wish my good friend Slapperbags a happy birthday. Tropical Storm John.
It is Tropical Storm John, and that was my perfect segue into Slapperbag's birthday.
Oh. I see what you did there. Very clever.
Tropical
Slapperbag's
Storm-
birthday.
Tropical Storm John is the longest occurring tropical storm on record. It happened in 1994 and lasted a whole month, and it just circled around in the Pacific and never made landfall.
Oh, it never made landfall.
So
Oh,
it was a nice storm.
yeah. That was respectful.
Much like
Yeah.
our good friend Slapperbags.
Right, he just circles around, doesn't bother anybody. Okay, so Mike, you could cause a 3-way tie here.
Oh,
Otherwise, it's Paul or Andy's game to win.
Oh, no.
I go for a 3-way tie.
so what is
All
it,
right.
2 to 2 to 1?
Yep,
Okay.
that's correct.
Oh, that's exciting.
In which top 100 games list did Metal Storm find itself in?
Paul.
Was it A, Paul?
IGN.
It is IGN. Paul takes the win.
Number 46, baby. Number 46.
All right. Good game, guys. Good
You
game.
know, I knew it was like
Congratulations,
I was being respectful, letting him finish the question.
You know what? If you had any knowledge of my previous track record and the U-Force, I don't look. I just know the answer. I'm sorry. Actually, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. All right, continue, guys.
That's fair.
No, I mean,
I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him.
would you like to know? My favorite Irem April Fool's joke was the April Fool's joke of 2004, which was the Irem Burger. And you can go and actually check out the website for the Irem Burger. They made a whole website for like a fast food restaurant created around.
It sounds absolutely delightful, actually.
Yep.
Burger.
So,
That was not real.
Anyway.
I like it.
no. Okay, Michael, did you have this game, or did you go on a quest to find it?
Michael's quest to find the cart.
I did not have this game. I did not go on a quest to find it because I looked up the price and decided it was not worth my time trying to find it for that price. No offense to anyone out there, but I know how much they love to hear my quest to find the cart. Crap. You know what? How many times have I told you I was just going to make one up if I didn't have one? And yet here we are.
I know.
Yet again, I'm just being a loser, just telling everybody I didn't get it.
Screw the pooch every
Hold
time.
on. Can we just back this up? Hold on.
Michael's quest to find the cart.
I did go on a magical quest to find this cart.
Magical, eh?
Yeah, it's quite magical. See, it turns out David Copperfield was coming to town here in Knoxville, and I went to go see him. Okay, now everybody knows he's famous for like making cars disappear, making buildings disappear. Jess and I, we saw him about 10 years ago. Watched him make a car disappear right there in Knoxville. It was amazing. So this time, he made a car disappear, but he made it reappear in the parking lot. And the first person to find the car in the parking lot and open the trunk got a copy of Metal Storm, and that was me.
Was it? Yeah, was there a lot of people fighting for that to find that car?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, a bunch of nerds like me just looking for that Metal Storm car. You know. So there you go. That's my quest to find this car.
Okay.
But you know who probably has a better story? These Power Trip Gaming guys, because I know they have it, and they probably got some wonderful story about how they bought it or got it.
Yeah, no, I do have a great story. It's one that's it almost sounds unbelievable, but no, I had actually found it at a video game store, and I was about to buy it, and somebody actually had come in at around the same time, and they beat me to it by literally 15 seconds. So I got really upset that they had bought the game out from under me. I decided to follow them in my car, just to kind of try to scare them, see if they would just
relinquish the game.
Relinquish the game. But to no avail. So I actually...
Wait, you're telling me that didn't work?
No, it didn't work. No. So I felt really defeated. So I found myself actually walking down a dark alleyway. And there was a woman just kind of sitting on the in the alley. I thought, man, what is she doing here? And I realized that she's kind of a bag lady, so she was probably homeless. And she said, "Excuse me, sir, can you spare any change?" And I said, "Well, absolutely, yeah, I can, because I was going to buy this game and I couldn't because somebody else bought it out from under me. So here, I'm just going to give you some money that I was going to use to purchase this card." And she said, "Oh, that's so nice of you. Hold on 1 second, I have something for you." She went into her bag. Believe it or not,
No.
was in there. That's my quest to find the cards. I found it from a bag lady.
Bought it from a bag lady, but you didn't even know you were buying it.
I know. No. So okay. On a more serious note, this game I had never personally bought. I honestly don't think I had ever even seen this game in a store. At the time that I was looking for it, it was already a $30 to $40 game, and it's gone up since then. And I never found it. When I got to about, I think, 620 or 30 games, Andy actually has this game. Well, he had the game, and he said, as part of my contribution to this, if you can get to like a certain amount of games, then I'll just give you for my collection what you don't have, so that we can put the collection together and we'll have everything. So he actually gave me his copy of Metal Storm to put towards the. He's still a little bit bitter about it, though.
Well, I'm more bitter about the fact that you called me a bag lady. Sitting in the dark alley for some reason. Thanks. I mean, I know I was going through a rough patch, but geez.
Poetic license, I'm sorry. But I've actually never seen this game like in the wild when I was collecting. It's only been since after acquiring it through Andy, of course, that we've seen it pop up here and there at video game conventions. But the price, as you said, Michael, it's absolutely astounding. People asking at least 3 figures for it, and it's disheartening.
Yeah, it's not a that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's a pretty. I mean, from what I understand, it's a pretty rare game. I mean, like you said, you've not ever seen it in the wild. I've never seen it in the wild. So
yeah, and it really kind of goes to show that. I mean, it was IREM. It was developed by that Tamtex. So I mean, they didn't have the advertising arm like Konami did or Capcom. So obviously, there's less copies of it out there than there would be of like a Mega Man 2 or Mega Man 3. So. Or even a Castlevania at that. So yeah, it's a pretty rare game. But I never had it as a kid.
Well, both quests that you came up with there. I don't know which one's the truth and which one's a lie. I'm assuming one of them's a lie. I tend to believe the back lady story.
We will let the listeners decide which one they think is real and which one is fake.
But either way,
confirm nor either story.
Either way, you've got the game, so that's all that matters.
Yep.
All
It's in the collection.
Speaking of the game, let's talk about the game.
Woo!
The game discussion.
Okay, so you said you didn't have it growing up. Justin, I don't think had it growing up. I didn't have it growing up.
No.
But Andy, how did you had it in your collection and you gave it to Paul. Did you have it growing up?
I did. My parents bought it way back in the day. I want to say I got it from a KB Toys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've missed KB Toys.
Pretty sure that's where we ended up finding it. And I want to say it was this. Wait, when did this one come out?
1991.
91?
Mhm.
I want to say we also got Final Fantasy, even though that was a couple years prior.
No, it was 1990.
1990?
1990. So,
I want to
yeah.
say we picked up this and Final Fantasy at the same time.
Wow.
So
Quite the contrast.
Yeah, what a trip that was.
That was a very good outing. But yeah, I grew up with it. I remember just the first time I plugged it in, I loved it. It was the cute little robot guy is adorable. So yeah, that was pretty much it though. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I loved it growing up. Colorful, music was great. Get to shoot stuff. I mean, what more is there?
What more could you ask for?
Legacy.
Oh, you just had to go there.
I had to.
Well, that's okay. I will say, this is a complete tangent, but I know there's a lot of Switch owners out there, and this game is a mech game, and I've been playing the crap out of a recent game on Switch. I just want to go on a quick tangent and put a little plug in there for Into the Breach. Have you guys played that one yet?
No.
I have not.
No, I saw you playing it the other day, and I was gonna ask you how it was because it looks cool. It's a strategy, right? Strategy
Yeah,
RPG.
it's almost like chess with mechs. In a way.
Checks with what?
Yeah, you heard me.
You heard me.
You heard me.
You will.
No, it's like it's like robot chess almost. Because imagine you're in charge of the robot guys, the mechs, as they say, and you're fighting these big alien bug things. But it's a turn-based, moving around on the board kind of a deal. But each piece does a different thing. I call them pieces now because I keep thinking about chess. But like your guy, you may have a guy that punches, but it knocks the guy back a space. Or you may have a rocket that can only go arc over top of things. It can't shoot directly. There's so many different ways to approach the battle. And it's really pretty neat. I really like it. I haven't been able to put it down since I got it, and I got it like Thursday or Friday, whenever, pretty close to when it came out. But,
I'll have to look into that.
I recommend it. And the guys, the enemies don't really fight you. They try to fight. It's neat because every level is like a town or like a city, and the monsters try to attack the buildings rather than you for the most part. So you're more trying to knock them away from destroying these buildings than you are trying to keep them from destroying you. Of course, they attack you too, but it's kind of a juggling thing, you know. Because the buildings are actually what give you power for your mechs, and yeah, it's kind of like it's made by the same people that made FTL. So you know how you had a certain amount of power that you could power different weapons and stuff. Anyways, enough of that. I just wanted to go on a quick little mini Nintendo Switch Up episode there for a second, because since we're talking about a mech game, and I've been playing a mech game on the Switch, I thought it would be fitting.
Yeah, it's very funny too, because I mean, seeing the the box art and how it's a little tiny mech. I didn't know at the time until I was older that the mech. I mean, it looked like, if you've ever heard of Gundam Wing, it actually looks like that kind of Japanese anime robot. And so, but it's just, it's, as Andy said, it's absolutely adorable.
It's very Gundam-like, right?
Yeah.
I think he looks kind of fat, myself. I don't mean to offend the little mech guy, but I think he looks a little fat.
Well, I think you offended him.
To be specific, Paul, it would be more in the style of SD Gundam, where they're super deformed. That's what the SD means, and they're chibi versions of the Gundams.
Well,
thank you.
Well, good thing.
You uncouth monkey.
Well,
Actually,
I think we're talking about Metal Storm, and he is a mech, and it's not a Gundam. He is the M308 Gunner, okay? And he's from the 26th century. Stop it.
that's true. And you can find that out from the manual,
Yes.
which I have a PDF copy of. Do you guys have a physical copy of this?
Prepare for the letdown.
I do not have a physical copy of the manual.
Wow.
No, this game is expensive enough. So this is actually one that of the games that we've covered with you guys. This is the first that I do not have the box nor the booklet for.
I'm really
I'm
sad. I was totally expecting you to have it.
I know.
It's useless then.
I'm just happy enough to have the game.
Well, it's been nice talking to you guys. See you later.
I am now officially useless.
Well, actually, I think we can blame this one on Andy, right? That means the little child Andy threw it
totally
away.
Totally is. Which means you had the box at one point too.
I did.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, that's a painful blow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not the first one we've done that to.
Yes.
Well, okay, I guess I will take over then here from this fuzzy PDF manual that's hurting my eyes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Here's
it's pretty rough.
here's the story of the game. The year is 2501, and the dawning of a new century has brought mankind to the brink of disaster. The powerful laser gun on the planet Pluto's battle station Cyberg. Okay, so apparently by 2501, Pluto's a planet again.
It's a planet again.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back to
And
the.
there's a battle station on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Space Force is in full force, and we have a battle station on Pluto.
I like it.
Realistic.
This just sounds like something I would have made up when I was in like second grade.
It sounds like something, it sounds like something a second grader would make up. It also sounds like something that could happen this day and age, right?
Yeah,
Well, 2501, sure.
We're almost there, guys. Almost there with Space Force. We're gonna have a battle station on Pluto in 2501.
Yeah, we'll get there. Just be patient. Trump the 6th.
Space Force.
We'll have the Space Force on
This is
Pluto
why
by
we have Space
2501.
Force, people. This is why we need Space Force.
I agree.
Yeah, all right. So, it was originally designed to protect Earth from hostile aliens, but due to a computer malfunction, is systematically destroying all the planets in the solar system. Most recently, the Earth nation watched helplessly as Neptune exploded. Ooh, that sounds
Oh my
rough.
God.
That's terrible.
This is why we don't need Space Force.
Yeah, scratch the Space Force. The system's self-destruct device could stop the laser gun, but it has mysteriously jammed and is aimed at Earth. Even if the device can be manually activated, there is still only a slim chance that Earth can be saved. Your mission is to enter Cyberg using the most sophisticated weaponry available, the M308 Gunner, and unlock that self-destruct device.
Of course.
Oh, man.
Sounds like a space version of the plot to Power Blade. Because in Power Blade, you had to go and activate the self-destruct sequence or something, and
Oh, really?
yeah, that's kind of what this sounds like.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like when we were growing up, there was a whole lot of talk about self-destruct modes, and you just don't hear that much about self-destruct modes anymore? First of all, why would anybody need a self-destruct mode? And it just seemed like there were so many plots centered around my childhood around self-destruct modes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of computer errors that
Yeah.
cause malfunctions and like Skynet.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, it's funny because they're actually they've kind of backed off on the whole self-destruct idea as a video game plot line, but I think the idea of a computer glitch is definitely it's still heavily used.
It's
just
more
because
relevant today, right?
It's more relevant, today than it was back then.
It's learning things.
Oh God.
That is scary.
Now I'm scared to play the Nintendo anymore.
This is a weird tangent. You ever seen the movie Maximum Overdrive?
Sounds familiar.
I have not.
It's where Earth gets caught in the tail of like a comet or something, and it causes all electronics to like essentially turn on us. It's like it almost kind of reminds me of Tremors, where people are like caught in a gas station, and there's like trucks, like semis and stuff, torturing these people in the gas station. It's the weird, like soda machines just start hucking soda cans at people, and any electronic like turns on its owner, lawnmowers and stuff. That's what made me think of this.
I just want a Pepsi. Well, tough, you'll get a Dr. Pepper.
I think it shoots a guy in the nuts with a soda can. And it might have been a Pepsi. Think about it.
Is this a comedy or is this a horror movie?
It was one of my favorites.
Little from column A, little from column B.
I feel like it's a Stephen King movie.
It's not a Stephen King
Maximum Overdrive.
It is not a Stephen King. No, that does not sound like Stephen King.
It sounds like a Stephen King thing.
No, it doesn't.
It could be.
It does
Well,
not.
I do know that there was an episode of Knight Rider where a hearse was driving itself, and that was pretty terrifying.
A hearse?
A hearse?
Oh, you know who's in this movie? Emilio Estevez.
Yep, he sure was.
Heck yeah, I think I have seen this movie actually.
And
It is Stephen King.
And yep, Andy is right. It was actually directed by him too.
Your win is being
That's terrible. It was written by him and directed by him. This may have been his directorial debut.
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh my god, that was 1986.
1986.
I thought it was in the 90s.
Nope.
Well, learn
I
something
have to
new
watch
every day,
this.
you know?
Sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
You guys will
probably find it on YouTube.
Oh yeah. It's
Straight
not.
to YouTube.
That's funny.
Oh boy.
So I guess,
All right.
all right. So I want to turn to you guys to describe what this game is. I will just say it's a side-scrolling shooting game, right? But a little more detail. Why don't Andy or Paul? Probably Andy, right? You're the one that's got all the experience with it.
Yeah, Andy's got significant more experience than I do with this one. So
Wait. Time out. I gotta throw one more thing in here.
yes, please.
So, it was based on a book by Stephen King, but not of the same name. The name of that book? Trucks. Trucks.
Just trucks?
Yep, it's called Trucks by Stephen King.
Leave it to old Steven.
I swear Stephen King probably got to a point where he's like, okay, I can write about anything and people are going to buy this and it's going to be a huge hit. All right, here's my greatest challenge yet. Trucks.
What was that Family Guy joke where he's like, oh, it's a killer lamp, huh? Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
It's true, man.
Congratulations, Stephen King. You win.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so Metal Storm, yeah, it's a good way to describe it. It's a side-scrolling shooter-ish. Well, not shooter. It's more of like a platformer.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got platforming elements
Yeah,
in it.
but like the big draw to this game is the fact that you can reverse gravity. So you can walk on the ceilings and all this stuff, which is, from my recollection, it's not really a whole lot of games that done that. I think Rad Gravity, The Adventures of Rad Gravity, kind of did it.
There
There was a
were...
Mega Man game that did it. There was a Gravity
Mega-
Man stage.
Mega Man 5,
Mega
yeah.
Man 5 did it, but
Yeah.
But no other game had made it so that like it was actually an integral part of the controls and of the mechanics of the game, where you had to use it in order to beat levels, or just using it to like for a stage or
Like a gimmick.
or a gimmick or something like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, you could jump obviously just normally, I think, hitting the A button. But then if you held up and pressed A, you would flip onto the ceiling. Which there were some enemies that would change gravity with you and all this other stuff. But there were stages that were infinitely scrolling, like vertically. It was really cool. So I think it was stage 2, and maybe I think it was every other level.
And stage 6 was at least because stage 4 was the cage.
Was the cage?
So you were just in the box basically.
That's
so
true.
It was 2 and 6 had that infinite scrolling.
Yeah, so there were infinite vertical scrolling stages where if you shot down, your shot would come from the top of the screen down. It was very, very fascinating the way it played. It was very disorienting, but it was such a cool idea that really was never done again.
Yeah, no, it was very unique.
Yeah.
And it's never been done since, really.
Yeah, you got some power-ups. You get like a shield. You get like a wave shot that would go through walls.
You can get armor.
You get an armor, which would give you an extra hit, as well as like a crush bomb thing that you only ever saw twice that wiped everything out on the screen. But
of course, points up.
Well, of course, points.
Yeah. Who didn't want to collect points in Sneak?
I don't think points gave you 1-ups, though.
Nope, not a single one.
Cool.
Nope.
Just for fun. Just for fun.
But the game was 7 stages long. It was 6 actual levels, and then the final was like a boss rush where you revisited and fought all 6 bosses. Yeah. And then the probably the best boss fight in any game, the laser.
Was the laser gun that was on Pluto. Yeah, you had to stop it from basically destroying Earth. And it literally consisted of shooting and blowing up 4 turrets on the missile.
I don't even think it shot
I don't even
at you.
think it shoots at you.
No.
It just scrolls. The screen scrolls, and you have to destroy it before it, I guess, it, like, crushes you.
I don't think it does that. And
I don't even know what it is. It's like, you can't possibly lose against it.
No, the screen scrolls only after you've destroyed a segment. Otherwise, it literally just sits there.
Yeah, it literally will just.
Probably one of the most boring final boss fights ever.
Yeah.
Other than what you did to Shredder in TMNT 1. When you just kind of got him in the infinite jump loop.
Oh, yeah. He
and
kept trying to
smack him
jump,
around.
and I would just hit him.
But yeah, that was all there.
That was just a Paul special there.
That was,
None of the rest of us have been able to repeat that move.
A lot of us can't even get past the dam.
Yeah.
But after you beat the game, it gives you a password for a hard mode, which was pretty common in the NES era. Excuse me, the NES era. It's not NES anymore.
Thank you.
God.
Right?
That's
Yeah, my bad. The NES era. It was kind of just an arranged version. I mean, everything, like the stages were all laid out the same, but it gave you different enemy placements. The bosses had a harder pattern, and it's no joke. Like,
I felt like it was significantly harder.
Yeah.
oh yes,
I think we tried after we beat the game. After we stopped recording, we decided to just do level 1 just to see just how hard it was, and I don't even think we beat level 1.
we got to level 3, and it took us 3 hours.
The
That's why I
base
don't-
game itself is really not that terribly difficult. It gives you unlimited continues, so you just kind of keep playing it. I mean, I died a lot. Mostly I died out of just confusion and frustration, I felt like, but...
Oh yeah, you're.
Yeah,
The game itself is not that difficult. The enemies are pretty predictable. I mean, they don't really do much. It's just getting used to the idea of being able to switch gravity that kind of plays with your head a little bit.
Yeah, so I, obviously not growing up with this game, I played it as an adult for the first time. And yeah, to me, that was the most difficult part of the game. It wasn't even... The bosses had such predictable move patterns and strategies. The enemies and the level layouts were not terribly difficult, but it was just trying to get used to the controls and the mechanics of the gravity, of going up and down and kind of just dealing with that. It was the learning curve that was the hardest part of the game. It wasn't anything else inside of it.
It's true.
Yeah,
Very true.
I can agree with that. I will say, now, we've been talking fairly glowingly about the game so far. I will say that I think, whether it's from being overhyped or I don't really know what it is, but I thought this was just... It was okay. I think it was above average, but just barely for me. And I think a lot of people maybe just built it up and made me think it was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. And for me, it was just kind of like, it's fun, but there were just too many frustrating elements to me. And maybe it was just because I just never, the control scheme and everything just never clicked for me. But like I had trouble with when I would flip, sometimes I wouldn't know what I could land on or where I was going to go because the screen didn't really show you. Sometimes you flip and then you just keep, like on stage 2, how it's continuously scrolling up and down. I would just flip and not really know where I was going. And that was kind of frustrating to me. And I also was frustrated and I know this is kind of, a lot of games do this, Contra and whatever, but the power-ups, there were some good power-ups like armor that would give you an extra hit, but you couldn't have it and another power-up at the same time. And that was frustrating to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't help either that it's a one-hit kill, and you're a pretty big target. You're very large on the screen, so it's very easy to die very quickly. So there's certain stages where it just feels like you die almost instantly. Yeah. So
and also the part of what confused me is there's regular ledges that you can land on or ceiling a floor, but then there's also these weird arrowed ones that you can go through or something. It was just was just blowing my mind.
Yeah, the arrows. The arrows were basically telling you that it was kind of like a one-way door where you had to use gravity to jump up or to go onto the ceiling, and then you had to jump so that you can get past those platforms and actually land on them, because they were just basically one-way doors, I guess, or one-way platforms. So it got confusing at times where you were supposed to go, how you were supposed to navigate it. So it was very ambitious. I can't take that away from them for that. Kudos to them on making it ambitious, but at the same time, it really was just a really big step that it was hard for a lot of people to, I think, get used to. Yeah. And the ironic part, too, is that I think this game is more well-regarded now than it was back then. And even Nintendo Power, really, they actually echoed your sentiments, Michael, where they really thought that it was kind of middle of the road, where it was just maybe a little step above. But on their scale of their rating scale of anywhere between 0 and 5, they gave the graphics a 3.8. They gave the play or the controls, they gave it a 2.7. So obviously, who was ever playing the game, they did not like the controls at all because they gave it a 2.7. The challenge, they gave it a 3.1 out of 5, and the fun, they only gave it a 3.3 out of 5. So I don't know when people decided that this was just kind of the diamond in the rough, that this was a overlooked, underrated game, but Nintendo at the time did not think it was.
Yeah, I do think it is somewhat overlooked and underrated, right? Because I think it is a really good quality game. And for example, I think the 3.8 that they gave it on graphics or whatever you said, I think that's unjust. I think this is like a 5 out of 5 as far as graphics go. I think the graphics in this game are phenomenal myself. I think these are some of the best graphics on the NES, personally.
Well, and it came out in 1991, so that was, they weren't, Nintendo had kind of, or the developers had learned what they had to work with, but this still it wasn't a 93 game or a 94 game. This was 1991, so they still had several years before it was the end of the Nintendo's life cycle. So the graphics that they had were just absolutely impressive. The mech was clear as day, very detailed. I don't think it was that terribly big, but the level designs were absolutely amazing. Actually, that's one of the things that I loved most about the game was the level designs. Outside of having to use the gravity one way or the other, I think it's level 4 that there's a level called the Cage, where it's literally just a scrolling screen, and you're inside a box where that's where all the action happens. And that's something that we had never seen before in a game, and I don't think we've ever seen it since. And it was just a very clever
level design that I think that in that sense, this game is definitely overlooked.
This game is worth playing just for level 4. On its own. I would agree with that. I really wish level 2 is just, for me, level 2 is just confusing. I wish level 2 was placed later in the game rather than where it is, because level 2 is almost like a level where you need to already be comfortable with the gravity controls because of how confusing it is for me. Yep. If they would have put maybe 4 where 2 is or something, although 4 you need to be pretty comfortable with the gravity controls too, because all the enemies that are inside that cage fighting you have to kind of use the gravity to dodge them. But still, I think level 4 would have been a good way to get you used to using them, and then maybe the confusion of level 2 could have been put somewhere later in the game.
Yeah. They had a very similar level in level 6 was designed the same way, but at that same time, level 6 is near the end of the game, so obviously you have a good grasp on the gravity mechanics, so it's easier to navigate. But yeah, you're right. Level 2 kind of it's baptism under fire is what it ended up being. So
yeah, and just to me, stage 4 is just hands down the best level in the game, and one of the better levels I've played on an NES game, just in general, because it's so neat. And then something else that helps it is, and I don't know how they do this because I don't think the NES is supposed to be able to do this, but stage 4 does it, and I think maybe stage 3, but the background moves. And
it's the it's the what is it, the simulated parallax movements or something like that. It's not full on parallax graphics, but it's something that they had dubbed something else, but it's like parallax graphics where the backgrounds move but the foreground doesn't. It's definitely neat the way that they did that.
It's quite a feat of technology there for them to have figured something like that out on the NES. It's something it's neat to see on the NES, because I really don't think any games other than this game really do that. I know some later Nintendo published games or developed games had some really neat background movement, like Kirby had some nice background movement. But this game was before that, and it's got some really neat level design back as far as graphics go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even in that same vein, talking about the the level designs. Honestly, I think that the bosses, even though the bosses are, for the most part, they're pretty easy, but the boss designs are actually really cool. It really helped to get into the game and kind of I don't know, supercharge your interest in the game because of what you're going up against, like a fusion reactor or a laser cannon. And one of my favorite bosses in the game was in stage 5, and it was called the Transformer, where it was 3 different. It had 3 different attack forms that it could transform into, and I just thought that it was just very well done the way that they had designed those enemies.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
What did you guys think about the music?
Go ahead, Justin.
I was just going to say, I like the music, but it was a little off. Especially level 1 and the first couple of levels seemed like they didn't really fit with the game. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. I don't think that the music was bad. I just don't know how well it fit, in my opinion.
I would agree.
I'm inclined to agree.
I would agree with you. Where I think as we were playing it, the music is it's good. It's decent. I wouldn't say it's bad by any means, but it's not something that actually sticks out in my mind. So it's
there wasn't a huge repertoire either.
Yeah, so I feel like it was just kind of forgettable. But at the time, you listen to it and you're like, oh, this is pretty cool music, but it's just nothing that's going to stick. It's not a memorable. None of the level songs are just memorable tunes.
They're all kind of the same thing. They're all like an epic build-up, like dun 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 dun. It's like.
Yeah,
it's almost like I picture like a guy on a horse prancing, like I'm going into battle now, you know what I mean?
That guy, yeah, it's like a Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
the only thing I will say that's different is and I heard it a lot because I died a lot, but the game over screen, I love that song. because it's so sad. It really does sound like the world. The laser from Pluto just zapped me, you know.
Yeah, you let the world down, and this is the cries of the entire population of Earth singing to you right now.
Yeah, Justin, the first level's song is so upbeat, and it just doesn't make sense.
Earth is about to be blown up by a laser that is malfunctioned because of technology, and yet it's like, going to war to stop the war, to stop the destruction of the Earth.
Yeah, I agree.
There it is. In the background.
Oh, that's funny.
Let's see. I don't know. What have we not covered? I guess we pretty much covered everything. What did you guys think about the power-up system? I mentioned a little bit about it. How I like the power-ups. There's some neat ones like the gravity fireball, where you turn into a fireball when you go up and down.
Yeah, and that's very useful because you're invincible while you're in the fireball.
Yeah.
So even trying to get, like, if you saw a bullet coming at you, you could kind of fireball through it and be like, ha ha, gotcha. But yeah, honestly, they're really only, I mean, you had the shield, which was nice to deflect bullets, but not too many things, especially some of the bosses that didn't really do anything. But the wave shot was really probably the best overall because it was so powerful and it could go through walls.
Yeah.
So it allowed you to hit obstacles that were, because I want to say in level 5, where it almost looked like battleships or whatever. It was the vertical scrolling one, the second vertical scrolling.
That was in 6.
Was that 6?
Yeah,
there were some enemies that were actually encased in hard, like, platforms that with a regular gun you can't shoot through. So you needed the wave shot to actually kill those enemies.
Yeah.
It just seemed to me like they should, because the power-ups were so different, it seemed like they should have allowed you to build them up. Like, if you get power beam or whatever it was called, the wave shot, and the gravity fireball, you should be able to do both.
I agree.
I just think that would have made more sense. But I don't know. I digress. It's just, I'm nitpicking now.
Your default shot is so weak. Like, it takes forever to kill anything. So it wasn't conducive to having anything else other than, like, the power shot or whatever.
And to me, it just, I mean, no, I don't think I'm necessarily nitpicking, but I feel like there could have or should have been just a little bit more variety, or at least make more items that were useful, because the different power-ups that you have, of course, the point pickup, which is completely pointless, ironic.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah. But you got that. You got the armor. You've got the wave shot or the power shot, and then you've got that is that the crash then when you can the fireball and
gravity fire.
The gravity fire. Yeah. But it literally takes you only going through maybe like 1 or 2 levels to realize the only power ups you ever want to pick up is the wave shot and armor. Like, everything else is just kind of pointless at that point. And Michael, to your point, is because of the fact that you can't have both the fireball gravity with the wave shot. So it's like you have to pick one or the other. And unfortunately, the wave shot is what ends up being more important down the road. So it literally just comes down to those 2 items. And so I felt like there could have or should have been a little bit more variety than that.
Yeah,
kind of felt like spread shot in Contra. Really, other than spread, why would you ever want anything else in Contra?
You wouldn't.
That's true.
Yeah.
Except Fireball. Flamethrower best.
Did you guys ever have any issues with running out of time?
I don't think so.
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. They give you plenty of time. Although I don't think that there was even any close calls where we were down to like 20 or 30 seconds. Yeah,
I feel like hard mode cut your time.
Yeah, hard mode. I think it was hard to the point to where you had just enough time to like beat the enemies and beat the level.
Well, hard mode, you had to be so methodical in the way that you played that you were under that time constraint because you kind of had to sit there and make sure you knew what was coming around the corner. So you kind of had to inch your way through the level as opposed to normal where you could just kind of run and gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think we ever ran out of time.
Okay, just wondering. I won't say whether or not I did now. Then okay.
That's curious. Why did you bring that up?
I'm not very good at these games. I don't know if anybody knows that. Anyways, well, okay. So, what did you guys think? What do you think? Is it worth it? Justin, do you know how much it goes for?
I've seen some people say like $79, but you can see it go up to 3 figures.
I'd say we probably ought to call it about 100. Just call it an even
$100, yeah, that's probably smart. So,
or if you're finding it at conventions with the inflated convention price, probably looking upwards of like maybe $125.
Yeah, I guess if you can find it.
If you can find it,
is it worth it?
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth it, Paul?
Well, see, this is one of those tough games where it's because the price is inflated to such a degree. I feel like it's hard to justify saying that it is worth it. Because I mean, the game itself when it came out was $40 or $50. So you're literally paying double the price of what the game was when it first came out. Now, is the game worth $50? Absolutely. I think it's definitely a unique game. And I would definitely have paid what the original price was of the game. But when you start getting into $100, $120, it's so hard to justify it, especially since, I mean, the game is actually, it's pretty short. It's a pretty short game. The music is meh. It's middle of the road. The controls are basically what make this game stand out and what makes it unique outside of everything else, because it's just there's nothing else quite like it. But is it worth the price that it's going for now? I don't think so. No, I just don't think that there's enough substance to justify how high this game is going for. Even if it's a rare game, rare doesn't always necessarily mean valuable. So it's true.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I don't think that there's enough here to justify the price. Now, maybe I don't know. It's kind of hard if you put yourself in the mindset of like, is it worth $50 as a $50 video game in 1991 time? Maybe, but I think right now, not so much.
Well, compared to what you can get nowadays from a video game, yeah,
yeah, sort of,
yeah. No, that's a good point.
It's true. I mean, if you're just thinking of NES games only, this game is a pretty unique game, and it's one of the better, I'd say definitely above average games on the NES. But if you look at this game compared to all games in the world and are expecting it to be worth the amount that it's going for, then it's really hard to quantify that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. This game. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I personally, for me, I don't think it's worth it, and I think it's worth trying it if you want to demo mode it, if you can even do that anymore. But just the hype, it was overhyped for me, and I actually really came out of this disappointed. I really was expecting to like it more.
That's fair. Especially too with it being as expensive as it is. If somebody's looking to get this, like, yeah, you're right. This game to me, like you said, Paul, is extremely short. I mean, you could probably finish this game feasibly in about 20-25 minutes, maybe a half hour
if you knew what you were doing. I mean, we took 45 minutes, but that's because you
were fumbling around.
I was fumbling around, but I had rarely, I think I played it once before that.
Yeah.
Okay, and if, just so everybody knows, if you're bad at video games like I am, it'll take you about an hour and a half.
I would say, yeah, an hour and a half.
This game kind of falls into the same category as like Power Blade. Power Blade it's a great game, but I mean it goes for about $47 now loose, which that game is incredibly short. Like I want to say it's only 5 or 6 levels, and then like the final level, and you could easily beat that game in about a half hour. Which at that point, $50 really is just not worth what you get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a great game, but I honestly, for Metal Storm, I probably wouldn't have gone above maybe like $30 or $40.
Yeah.
100's kind of pushing it.
Well, what's funny is that if somebody is, if somebody is trying to collect every game that's out there, every Nintendo game that's out there, obviously this is one of those that you're going to have to kind of tackle, and you're going to have to get it. But I would almost say if somebody is thinking about getting this, consider trying to find a copy of Nintendo Power Volume 22, because the cover story was Metal Storm, and it's got a 12-page strategy which actually lists all of the levels out with strategies from level 1 to level 6, so you get to see what you're getting into and what the game is about, and it's going to cost you a fraction of the price that Metal Storm does. So
that's good.
All right.
So, do you guys have any trophies?
Retrofitted trophies.
Anybody come up with any trophies?
Absolutely.
I did, and Andy called me an overachiever.
Yes, you are.
Oh,
here
boy.
we go. Making us
I
look
only
bad,
got
probably.
I've got 5. Calm down.
That's still like twice as many as I've got.
I will say I got
I don't
3.
have 2.5, so that's
Yeah,
wrong.
Andy grew up in this game.
Okay, all right. Well, then kick us off there, Paul.
Don't sound so excited.
I'm just, I
okay.
just don't like being showed up. You know what I mean?
You know what? If we're ever invited back for another game, I will purposely only have one retrofitted trophy for it.
Okay. See, Justin and I typically bring 2 to 3, so if you can just stay around the 1 to 2 range, so we make us look good, then that'd be great.
You got it. Absolutely. So my first retrofitted trophy is it's called Sharpshooter, and that is die by getting shot while having a shield. And the reason I created that is because it actually happened to Andy.
Come on now. Why you gotta sell me out like that?
He had a shield which actually stops projectiles from hitting you, and somehow the bullet found that sweet spot right perpendicular to him, and it ended up killing him. And I just thought it was the funniest thing. Yeah.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Hey, yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Good job.
Do you want to go so we can even it up? Oh, I guess I'm going. My first trophy is called Au Natural, and that is beat a boss with no upgrades.
Oh,
Just
okay.
your straight shit.
Nice. Okay. All right, Justin, go ahead.
Mine is Metallica Storm, and that is mute the game and just listen to Metallica while you play the video game.
I like that, actually. Yeah.
That's a good one.
I've done with other video games.
That is a good idea.
Castle Quest, I had to mute that music. I could not listen to it for as much time as I put into that game.
What?
I always muted the TV for that.
Yeah, you had to.
I had to. So, Michael, do you want me to give my second trophy then?
I'll go ahead and give one of mine, and then you can go to yours. Mine is called Ripley, and to get Ripley, you just have to collect the 1-up. That's it.
What?
That's it. Nothing special, really. Except for Ripley from Alien had a mech, so... You'll notice the theme here in a minute. You'll notice the theme here in a minute.
Oh, I get you.
I suppose it would have helped if I'd seen the Alien movies.
Oh, why?
I haven't watched a lot of things.
But apparently you can pull out Maximum Overdrive that nobody has seen. Like, literally 3 people have seen that movie.
That's because I'm like the king of B movies. I love B movies. Those are like guilty pleasure.
And you apparently know, like, specific Gundam model numbers or something over here whenever Paul was trying to bring it up.
Can I say I like to fight against the machine? I'm not a follower. I don't watch mainstream.
Whatever. So my second trophy is it's called Wait, What? and that is beat the fusion reactor by making it self-destruct.
Yeah, there's a trick against the very first boss.
Yeah, so the very first boss, literally, you can find a blind spot so that you could literally just stand there without getting hit by any of his bullets. And if you wait exactly 5 minutes, the boss just self-destructs. It kills itself.
Really? I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
5 full minutes.
5 full minutes. I learned that from Nintendo Power. Thanks, Nintendo Power.
The first boss truly does not take 5 minutes.
No, it does not. The first boss you could probably destroy in about 20 seconds. So, yeah, it actually
Seems
takes
like a waste
longer.
of time.
It says, didn't it give you that strategy if you were struggling with the boss?
Yeah, but it's a cool trick nonetheless.
It's pretty cool.
I feel like there was another game where that was a thing, where the boss would like just give up if you let it go.
I don't recall what, if any, did that.
There's a lot of. I think there's a lot of games over the years that have done those things.
Yeah, of course none come to mind right now, but
Yeah,
I feel like I knew another one.
Michael, what is your evidence for that?
Some listener out there is going to help us out, I think. 'Cause
Yes,
I don't-
please.
I'm not. Nothing's coming to mind for me either.
Dang.
I bet you Aaron's gonna listen to this and he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's like game A, game B, game C, all the way through game Z."
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Aaron knows everything.
that guy loves Home Alone for the NES. He said that's like one of his. If you had to beat a game or you were gonna die, Home Alone was his
He
choice.
picked Home Alone. That is literally sadistic. That is sadistic.
Ridiculous. What a guy.
God.
Well, he does co-host that Genesis Germ show, so
Yeah, he does. That's
that
why
explains a lot.
I try to avoid the germ word as much as I can. That's why I call it diamond in the roughs instead of hidden germs.
Hidden germs.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, I guess my second trophy is Masochist in the Making, and that is beat level 1 on hard mode.
Yikes.
Because it's very rough and very hard, and you really have to be a lover of pain to put yourself through hard mode on this game.
Yeah.
Whew.
All right.
My next one is Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is all your fault. And that is not beat the game. And Pluto destroys Earth.
Oh.
You think Pluto's upset because it got called not a planet? And that's why
Yeah,
it's
and Neil
doing this?
deGrasse Tyson was one
At
of the
some
ones
Yeah.
that was involved in dethroning it from a planet. So it's his fault.
Was anyone else ever angry that Pluto was declared not a planet?
I mean, I wasn't angry, but I was definitely sad.
We grew up learning that Pluto was one of the planets. It was part of that. What are those called? My very
educated mother just served us 9 pizzas.
Yeah, and now she served us nothing.
Yeah, what can she serve us if not pizzas? If there's no pizzas, what is there?
You just got served. Maybe that's now the new one. She just served us. Like, ah, crap. Mom showed up and
Mom just served us.
Mom just served us. We got served by Mom.
Ouch.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I thought Pluto deserves to be a planet, so that's just me.
Yeah.
Very unpopular opinion, apparently.
What are you going to do?
All right. Well, I can go with my my third one then. Is climb aboard the Gravitrain, and it's get killed 10 times by the trains in level 3 that are on the track, and I decided to do this one because I'm pretty sure I got this trophy during our playthrough of it because the trains killed me quite a few times. Yeah.
I mean, they tell you where they're coming from and where they're going, and somehow you still got killed.
I panic easily. What can I say? Yeah.
Well, it's okay. So my last trophy. How many have I done? Let me see where I'm at here. Yeah, I'll call this my last trophy. My last trophy is beat it on hard mode, and that is the crane body.
Nice. I like that.
I had a couple more, but they weren't as funny as the Krang body mech. So
Well, that's all I got.
Oh, geez. No, my fourth one is called The Trifecta, and that's defeat Transformer at the end of level 5, just because he was my favorite boss. And then my last one is That All You Got? And that's beat the laser weapon at the end of level 7, because it's a very anticlimactic fight if you've ever made it there.
yep.
I really wonder if you can remember that time there.
I don't think so, because during all of the final what is it,
Boss
the alert screens and stuff like that, the time just goes away. Timers go away.
I suppose that's true if you can sit there for
Yeah.
5 minutes and let the first boss explode.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
So yeah, those are my trophies.
That's all I got.
Pretty good, guys. It's pretty good. All right, so let's. What about the game rating?
Game rating.
How do you guys want to rate this game?
Oh boy.
Stephen King movie.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh.
All right.
Who wants to go first?
The Stephen King movies.
Well, I only know 2 Stephen King movies.
Well,
Maximum Overdrive.
I'll go first. Here, I'll go first, guys. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with It, because much like this game, I feel like It, the movie, was overhyped, or a miniseries movie, whatever it is, was overhyped. And once I saw it, I really didn't think it was that good. Which in hindsight, I think this game's pretty good, but much overhyped, just like the movie It.
Yeah, I agree. And the fact that the end of It was very disappointing, because all of a sudden he's a big spider.
Yeah,
Like, what? very like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
much like
Yeah,
the
that
ending
was-
of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great if the missile thing was actually just a spider? You had to hit it in the...
It would probably be better, actually.
Would have been more exciting.
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
Well, now I only know Maximum
I
Overdrive.
know. Well, there you go.
A B movie with trucks.
Well, that's why I had to jump in there, because when I heard you knew It, I was like, oh, he's going to steal mine.
Yeah, and it was what I was thinking of too. But
I mean, we can make it a unanimous It, depending on what Justin
I will be ready. Just give me 2 seconds here.
You're looking up Stephen King movies, aren't you?
I am most certainly not. I don't know what gives you that idea.
The Shining.
I would not know, because I was thinking that, and I would never compare this game to The Shining.
I'm going to go with.
Pet Sematary.
Yeah, I was going to go with Pet Sematary just because it's a good idea, but the movie was kind of a flop.
Yeah.
And it was a good book, but the movie did not live up to the hype.
That's a good one, actually. I like that one. Wasn't Pet Sematary 2 was better anyway.
It might have been, but I'm actually okay. I think I'm going to compare this game to Cujo, and the reason why I'm going to do that is because, well, everybody loves Cujo, or they think, oh, that was a terrifying movie with the demon dog. No, it really was. Like, people love that as a horror movie. Stephen King has went on record as saying he doesn't remember writing Cujo because he was a very very bad alcoholic at the time, and so he has no recollection of even writing Cujo, but he was still capable of writing a masterpiece, I guess. And so I really feel like I had an idea of what I was saying, and then it just...
So basically saying to enjoy this game, you gotta be drunk.
It helps.
It might help, but I would not recommend that to anybody who is listening to this. But no, I think it's a good game that I think people have come to love and enjoy. But when it really boils down, it was created by a drunk who just got lucky. That's all I got.
That was a bit of a stretch, but
it really was. You know what? I gotta find the bag lady, and I gotta give this game back to her.
Speaking of bag lady, Andy.
oh boy.
I'm just kidding. I was not. Anyways.
No, that's fair.
So is everybody gave their rating, okay? You know what? I just realized I didn't post feedback on this episode, did I, Justin?
Yeah, we don't have any feedback. I noticed that right before the episode.
Oops.
Oh.
Apologies, everyone.
Well, let's see what we can. Hold on.
Paul, are you going to post feedback?
No, I'm not going to post feedback.
So that makes for a very awkward ending to a podcast. But
Yeah.
we're pretty much over here. You guys got anything else you want to talk about? Normally we'd spend another... Oh, wait, we did get one piece of feedback. Hold on. It's just come in.
Oh.
We just got a phone call. Let's see here. Who's it?
Please tell me
I wonder who
I
it
think.
is.
Please.
I don't know. Who could it be?
Oh, I think I know, and I'm getting really excited. The suspense is killing me.
Okay, here it is. This is a voicemail left by us in the last 3 seconds. They must have heard that we didn't have any feedback.
And this is probably going to be like one of the most infamous sound bites you'll ever have from Nick Stevens, but this is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Like, probably top 10.
Wow.
Leave it.
Another top 10.
Not disappoint the NES or the NES.
Yeah,
gamers.
get it right. Come on.
I love it.
We're supposed to be Oh, no! We're supposed to be NES professionals.
I swear, Nick Stevens, his top 10 has at least 50 games in there, and
That's all it does at this point.
they're all Nintendo games too. It's ironic. I hope that the podcast that he's a part of that talks about a certain Sega system, they don't catch wind of his changing of the tides.
I hope not.
They may kick him off the show.
What a traitor.
Yeah, no, but it's great for us NES players.
There you go. Nice job.
I don't think he's a traitor. I think he has a love, and it's just so deep that he can't.
Yeah. You can't help it.
He can't help it.
So we got a comment left 5 years ago, and this person it was left on eBay, but I think they meant to actually leave it for the NES dudes. It says
You looked up eBay reviews.
it says hidden gem for the NES system. Great gameplay, good music. Kind of a cross between Metroid and Contra, if you can imagine that. Another comment that was also left for you guys 9 months ago says, best game ever. It's my favorite game of all time. Happy to have it complete in my collection. Wow. That's wow. It's amazing. Oh, and then we even got one person from Canada left a comment 4 years ago for you guys. Satan's butt hard. I like how your games are reasonably priced to Canada. Thanks, eh?
Nice job reading the first one.
I'm not gonna. No. It's a family-friendly show. I'm not gonna read that.
Well, it's funny it's funny you found some feedback, because I actually found a couple pieces of feedback myself.
Hey, excellent, cool.
Okay, so this is a feedback. This guy says this game is 1 star out of 5. This is not my idea of a good buy. It's a U-build. parts missing hardware, damaged door, sent for replacement part, received the wrong part after watering 2 weeks. Again, my work spent to install the door, only to find out the main Z-bar is damaged beyond repair. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was a review for a Metal Storm door.
Yeah, it
Metal
sounds.
Storm.
Oh, I was going to say, sounds like it's a new. His 308 gunner is his M308 gunner is not doing so well.
Yeah, that was actually just a review for a Metal Storm door.
It's funny.
Nice.
All right, this is getting a little bit off the rails.
Well, on that note,
I'm sorry that I went down that road.
well, on that note,
Way to bring it, Paul. I'm proud of
Hey,
you.
you know, try to bring my A game to everything.
Well, it was good having you guys on. Thanks for coming on.
yeah, thanks for coming on. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's always a fun
Yeah,
time.
no, we definitely enjoyed doing this. We're so thankful for you guys inviting us on and having us on for multiple games, even with my bad track record of games that I've requested. And you still decide to have us back on. So the thanks is all from us. So thank you very much.
I think
guys.
it's your turn next time, and so you may have a chance to redeem yourself. Since Andy picked this one, next time y'all come on, it'll be your turn, and you can redeem yourself.
Oh, Wayne's World is coming.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Not gonna be.
Total Recall? You guys do that one?
Oh boy, maybe I was wrong. You know what? All this talk about these crappy games makes me feel like the next game Just and I cover should be Mother Hubert.
Well played, sir.
That was excellent. That was excellent.
So, until next time, guys, how about a little Hubert music?